Hello everyone, and welcome to the first of what I hope will be a long-running series here on the PolyNerdic YouTube channel. It's something I call PolyNerding Out. It's going to be a commentary series. Something I've wanted to do for a long time is do commentary stuff and podcasts, things of that nature. But I've always been handcuffed by the technology available to me and been unable to record things like vlogs and podcasts. But now I have the opportunity to play some video games, talk over them, give you my thoughts on various things, everything from comic books, movies, video games, life in general, basically the stuff that I already write about on PolyNerdic.wordpress.com, but doing it in a video form, which is a little more, let's say, modern, because I know a lot of people don't like to read the long 3,400 word posts that I put out from time to time. So I feel a 10-minute video might be more to most people's style or taste. But my plan for this is, as it goes on, like I said, hopefully I want to do it weekly. It may end up being a bi-weekly series. It just depends on how life works out, because, you know, YouTube doesn't pay the bills. I've got a real job and, you know, life stuff to deal with. But my plan is just to do weekly commentaries, as well as doing some long-form conversations where I can have guests on, like my buddies from other places, and I'll be doing that through Twitch and recording the conversation live. So it'll almost be like a podcast format recorded live, and then I'll put it together here on YouTube. But those are from my long-term plans with this. Like today, I just wanted to keep it simple, explain my idea of what this is going to be, and then jump into a few things I want to talk about. But I also have to take a moment to thank my lovely girlfriend Chelsea for her help in coming up with the title of this. We've kicked a lot of things back and forth, and my not creative, in a moment of not my best creativity, I was almost content with calling this just the PolyNerdic chat show. But she wouldn't accept that, and it forced me to come up with other ideas where we settled on PolyNerding Out, because all of us that are nerds know what nerding out is. And that's the crux of my blog and station anyway, or YouTube channel, is the nerding out over things that are awesome, like, you know, our favorite movies, comic books, video games, things of that nature. So we're going to move on to the next segment. I'm going to talk about some video games next, and I hope you enjoy this series as it goes forward, as I get better at it. And maybe it eventually will grow into a podcast or vlog series once I get better equipment. But I thank you for your time. I thank you for your viewership. And stick around and we'll jump into some video game stuff next. This past weekend, I had the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with the Final Fantasy 15 demo. And to be completely honest, I did not care for it one bit. It's not an actual demo of the full game, but rather a demo of basically the tech for the game, where you're playing as a character in a dream world and you step on these buttons and things like this happen, where a giant shows up, or the daylight changes, the time of the day changes, or the weather changes, things like that. It was all kind of confusing and not very fun. I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since 12. I spent the most time on 7. I've never finished one. I got all the way through 7, got the big spell at the end, was on the 3rd disc and never finished it. 12, I put almost 99 hours in about 8-9 years ago. Never really have enjoyed the Final Fantasy games. They hooked me for a while. Obviously, 99 hours is a good long time to be hooked, but I've never finished one of them, and I was hoping this one would be the one, but based on what I've seen from this very strange demo, I don't think it's going to be it. Of course, a lot remains to be seen with the actual game. But yeah, I did just not enjoy this demo that they put out. I very quickly shut it down and deleted it from my hard drive. Definitely wasn't worth my time. I'm hoping the main game might be better, but like I said, I've never finished a Final Fantasy game, so who knows. The big one from this past weekend was the Doom multiplayer beta. I gotta say, I was very, very excited when I saw that I was going to have the opportunity to try my hands at the new Doom. And unfortunately, I walked away from this pretty disappointed. It was not at all what I wanted it to be from a first-person shooter. It looks amazing. That's undeniable. I like the customization of your armor. It gives you a little personal flair to your character. And I like the weapons a lot, but I didn't dig this at all. the way it plays was just too loose for me. I didn't like the sloppiness almost of the controls. I didn't like if I went to turn the corner, it was very easy to turn too far. There was it felt like a lack of precision. I felt there were some balancing issues. Melee attacks are a little too powerful in my opinion. There's times when you're going toe-to-toe with someone point blank with a shotgun and they just hit you with the stock of their gun and you're down, or they do this little execution move on you. It got very frustrating. Also, the environments are a little dark, but that's something that can be fixed by upping the gamma or whatever. But yeah, overall, it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. I expected it to be a lot more fun. Maybe it's because I missed out on the original Doom multiplayer back when it was a thing on the PC. I did not have a PC and never got to really enjoy it. But I've grown up in the era of the Call of Duties and the Battlefields especially. I absolutely love Battlefield 3 and 4. And the Doom multiplayer beta was not it. It did give some interesting things, like you could turn into a demon at certain points. And that was kind of fun, just for the novelty of, not just being a soldier running around. But I only probably played about 2, maybe 3 hours of this, if that. And as it stands now, I'm not looking forward to the Doom multiplayer. I'm still very interested in that campaign. But I can say I definitely walked away from this feeling very, very underwhelmed. Over the last several weeks, we've also seen 2 separate DLC content drops for one of my favorite games of 2015, Fallout 4. I can't speak much about the Wasteland Workshop one. I understand that it adds some new design elements for your settlements, and it lets you capture creatures and bad guys and use them against each other in arena combat for your own amusement. I haven't got to do any of that though, because I used all my resources building robots once the Automatron DLC let me do that. I had a lot of fun building various robots, as you can see from the robotic horde marching around my gas station base here. The story part of the Automatron DLC was good too. I liked the struggle against the Mechanist and the robotic forces that had been unleashed in the Commonwealth, but the real treat was building these companions. I liked having them around even more than guys like Nick Valentine or Hancock, Piper, any of the other companions I used over my playthrough, which you can find here on my YouTube channel. My big complaint with it though was that I had already put in almost 100 hours, maybe more than 100 hours all told, into my character, so I had done everything, and once I finished the Mechanist story, I really didn't have anything to do. I just had all these companions and nothing to do. So it'll be real fun to go back in with a lower level character and play the game proper with robots. But trust me, if you like Fallout 4, it's worth your time. Check out the Automatron DLC at the very least. And don't forget that Far Harbor comes out next month. So expect to see more Fallout 4 on this channel in the very near future. But between now and then, do yourself a favor if you're a Fallout fan, and check out, at the very least, the Automatron DLC. To close out today's video game discussion, I wanted to do a quick review of The Wolf Among Us by Telltale Games. Simply put, this game is freaking amazing. I love a good murder mystery noir style story, and this game had that in spades. It tells the story of Bigby Wolf, formerly known as the Big Bad Wolf, the sheriff of Fabletown, a community set within New York of fictional characters hiding in plain sight from humanity. They have everyone from, obviously, the Big Bad Wolf to Bloody Mary, the Jersey Devil, Snow White. They're all represented. Fictional characters of all kinds are represented in this community. Amongst them, there's a murder. Bigby Wolf's the sheriff. You guide him as he tries to solve this murder. It takes some interesting twists and turns. I was actually disappointed on Sunday night when I was playing it as part of my long stream that I didn't get to finish it. I got so tired I had to fall asleep before I could finish the game. So as soon as I woke up Monday afternoon, I was back in it to wrap it up and finish it. I can't wait to share it on YouTube, but I also implore you, it's a free game on Xbox Live Games with Gold right now. If you are an Xbox Live owner, there is no reason not to pick it up, unless you absolutely hate the Telltale style of game. But I happen to like it. I think it works. It tells a great story. So much so that I actually ordered, for my birthday, the first volume of Fables by Bill Willingham, the comic that this is a prequel to. So look forward to that in the near future. Once I read it, I will definitely be posting a review of that. But as far as this game itself goes, it's an easy 8 out of 10 for me. Maybe even a 9 out of 10. It's not a perfect game. There's some technical issues where as it checkpoints, you'll see here in a second, as it checkpoints, it kind of freezes up a couple times. But that only momentarily breaks up the flow of things. The story itself carries it. I loved it. I think you will too if you like that style of story or like the Telltale style of gameplay. But definitely check it out. It's free. What do you have to lose right now? It won't cost you a dime other than the cost of a Xbox Live membership. Sorry, PC and PlayStation 4 owners, that you don't get it for free. But I would also suggest that you pick it up. I'm sure you can find it fairly cheap right now. Give it a look, though. It's definitely worth your time, in my opinion. And keep an eye out on PolyNerdic.wordpress.com for that eventual comic book review as soon as I get my hands on that book and read it as well. Well, I think that'll do it for the first episode ever of PolyNerding Out. I hope you enjoyed this first attempt at a new series and a new idea from me. I look forward to doing more of them in the future and know that I will only get better as time goes on. I know I had a tendency to ramble a little bit here, but I think I did a decent job of cutting out the rambling and getting just to the core of what I was trying to tell you. Maybe you'll disagree with me, maybe not. But I do look forward to doing more of these, especially when I start getting into the live ones as I planned, and start having guests on as well. I'm going to test a few things soon to see how that works, and hopefully those will go as I've planned, and this will grow and be a thing. Maybe it'll turn into a podcast like I've always wanted to do, or maybe it'll just stick to the YouTube commentary video. I'm just glad that I was able to sit down and do this today. I've been trying to do it for a long time, and like I said, I hope you enjoyed. But before I go, I did want to do a couple recommendations. I've reviewed it previously, but I think a good comic book recommendation for you guys would be Deadpool Kills Deadpool. It's one of the best Deadpool stories I've ever read. I know some people out there are new to the Deadpool character thanks to the excellent Ryan Reynolds movie from earlier this year. It's a great book for you to pick up. It's just cover to cover Deadpool, all kinds of different Deadpools. It's crazy, it's awesome, it's exactly what Deadpool is. I would also like to suggest a book that I just finished and have not gotten to write my review about yet. It's a graphic novel called Death Sentence. It's a very British book. It's a very adult comic book, graphic novel. But it was an excellent read. Keep your eyes open for the review of that. I'll go into greater detail when I do the written review. But that's my second comic book recommendation. And lastly, I think everyone needs a good laugh from time to time. There is an excellent short film out there called Kung Fury. I wrote about it several months ago. If you've not seen it yet and you like just silly, stupid, funny stuff with martial arts and action and good solid comedy, check it out. I'm pretty sure if you're like me, you won't be disappointed. If you don't have my taste, you probably will be, though. But I like it. I know several people that have seen it and have enjoyed it as well. Check it out. It's definitely worth your time. But as I said, that's enough rambling for me. I'm pushing 14 minutes with this video now. I hope you have a good day, and I hope you look forward to the next one of these. I look forward to putting them together, and it goes without saying, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. PolyNerdic on Facebook, at PolyNerdic on Twitter, PolyNerdic.wordpress.com. Obviously, PolyNerdic on YouTube, where you're watching this, and PolyNerdic_SY over on Twitch. That's where I do live streaming every Sunday night. I stream way into the morning. If you're a third shifter like me, it's a good time to sit and have some fun with some video games. If not, you can watch them later, because I almost always put them up on YouTube. And I think that about covers it. I don't want to ramble any longer, because, again, now I've eclipsed 14 minutes. Have a good day. And I will see you next time with more PolyNerding Out.